Hello and welcome to Online Chats. My name is Diane Cohen, and today we have with us Carl Van, the president of International Insurance Institute. Carl's company provides a very interesting service. His company teaches soft skills. How are you, Carl?
Doing great. Thank you, Diane. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. So, your company started with an article that you wrote. You worked ways up the ranks in claims, correct?
Yes, from adjuster to supervisor, manager up the ranks. Yeah.
And then you wrote this article. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. The article was called The 8 Characteristics of the Awesome Adjuster. Just really a look at what I saw as the types of things that the really great claims people used to do and focus on. And that turned into a book, and that turned into a training program, and the company was born.
Wow. So, can you tell us a little bit about soft skills? What type of soft skills are we talking about for claims departments?
The types of soft skills that typically go untrained but are very valuable for the claims professional, such as time management, customer service, negotiation, critical thinking. There's a lot of generic things out there, but all of our courses are specific to the claims adjuster position, even down to the line of business, auto, homeowner, workers' comp, whatever you have. And for that reason, all of our instructors are all claims managers or above, because we really do believe you have to understand this business if you want to try to help people.
That makes sense. Hey, Carl, what do you think is the most important soft skill an examiner or claims handler should have?
Oh, I'd have to go with interpersonal skills. Whether you're talking to a coworker, you can say two things to a coworker. You can say, hey, it sounds like you're confused, or you can say, let me help clear this issue up for you. If you're talking to a customer, you could say, if you don't sign this form, we won't pay you. Or you could say, if you do sign the form, I can help make sure you get paid. The idea is you want to be able to interact with people, and you need their cooperation, you need their assistance, and you want them to believe that you're on their side.
So,
Great.
Carl, I hear you when you're speaking talk about a voicemail multiplier. And I
Mhm.
think this is such an important thing for people to hear and to understand. So, can you tell us about that?
Sure, it's just a concept. It's a time management and a customer service issue, really. Let's say you get 100 phone calls in a week, and instead of answering them, you let them go into voicemail. What do you have to do with those 100 calls? Well, you have to return them. Maybe not 100%, but 90%. So you make 90 outgoing phone calls. Well, you don't get all those people. You get about half. So you leave a message for 45 and you talk to 45. What do those 45 people do when they get your message? They call you back. You let it go into voicemail, and now you got to return those messages again. And basically, it goes back and forth until the rule of thumb is that for every call that you could have answered, now you don't worry about it if you're not there or you're on the phone. Sometimes you can't answer the phone. But for every call that you could have answered that you didn't, you've just generated on the average 3 to 4 phone calls later. You've actually generated work. You've created work. And the only reason this work is even created is because you chose not to answer the call. And many of us do that in order to be efficient because we think it's more efficient to let a call go into a voicemail rather than deal with it now. So it's just one of those time management techniques, and it's a customer service issue. The reason for that is because usually, almost always, number one complaint people have of a claims organization is that they're not available. And number two is they don't return their phone calls. So here we have very serious customer service issue as well.
Also too with that, it's not just a matter of picking up the phone, right? It's a matter of once you've got that voicemail, you've got to listen to it and you've written down some information. Now you've got to familiarize yourself again with the claim. So you've got to open it up, look in the system, make some notes, and then call them up and hopefully they answer. But if they don't, what are we doing? We're back in voicemail jail, right?
Exactly. That's why we suggest, just try it for a week. For a week, when you're at your desk, just pick up the phone and you'll see the total number of your phone calls drop like a rock. It's pretty amazing.
So one of the things I've noticed is a lot of companies spend a lot of money training their people on policies, procedures, how to use their own systems, but they really don't invest in soft skills. And I think this could be a costly mistake. What do you think, Carl?
Well, I have to agree. Lots of studies have shown that the cost of the claim goes up the longer it goes on. So if you're in a bad situation with a customer simply because you haven't communicated well, they're going to want more money. They're going to want more money because they're irritated with how you treated them in a claim. Or if, again, you've irritated them somehow, they go get a lawyer where they wouldn't have. So the skills, the ones we talked about, negotiation, customer service especially, had a lot to do with driving down the cost of claims, which is funny because a lot of companies look at soft skill training as a cost, when really what they should be doing is looking at it as an investment. If we invest in the soft skill training, what will we get back? And very oftentimes that's in quicker turnaround time, better customer service scores, and lower overall payments.
I don't know of an organization that wouldn't like better scores. Tell me a little bit about the type of classes that you offer, Carl.
Well, almost anything a claims person would need as far as soft skill, we provide. And again, it's specific to claims. So even our business writing class, it's specific to claims, the types of letters that claims people would send. We have customer service, time management, negotiation, critical thinking, telephone skills, just basically anything. If you can imagine a claims person needing a certain skill to do their job better, it's a class that we provide.
You know, you provided something to an insurance company in conversation we were talking about, and you had said that an insurance company hired you to look at all of their letters, all their form letters.
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about that because I think that it's so important what the claimant is reading and how it's being said makes a big impact on how they feel about the company and the organization.
Yeah, actually, that's a service we provide as well. We will help, along with the business writing, we'll actually look at all their form letters and offer suggestions and even rewrite them for them. So something as simple as instead of, I've been assigned to handle your claim, I'll be helping you with your claim. Instead of, this concludes this matter, it's been a pleasure serving you. Instead of, you haven't been available, I'm sorry I've been unable to reach you. So not only being more persuasive and direct and professional in the letter, but also just more courteous and friendly and, along the lines of what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people. We're in the business of helping people. And
Yes.
so that's a service that we provide, going through the letters, making sure they're accurate, but also giving them a more professional and customer service tone.
So, Carl, you and I were together the day the pandemic was called, and we were doing a conference down in Southern California.
Yeah.
Our company pivoted the way that we do business and the way that MacroPro gets records. What has your company done as far as being able to teach classes to claims departments now that you can't be in their presence?
Well, we've done quite a pivot where we used to do almost 90% of our courses were in person. Now we're doing webinars and online training. So right now, most of our courses are in webinar format. So a company says we still want the customer service, but we can't have an in-person class. What can you do? We can actually deliver that exact same course via webinar. It's really a nice little service because we can still interact with the students. They can still ask questions. We can still answer it. It's as close to being in person as possible with exercises, workbooks, even desk reference cards. But it's all in delivering it via webinar online services now. So it's been quite a shift for us.
So, Carl, I understand that you have a new book that's out. Can you tell us about it? I think I've got one in the mail or something.
You do. It should be arriving today. It's even signed, which probably lowers its value, but forgive me for that. But it's called Awesome Claims Customer Service Part 1, based on our workshops. And it's basically, again, tips on how to improve customer service and make the claims job easier. So it just came out. It's on Amazon.
So, Carl, can you give us your contact information in case somebody would like to order the book or talk to you about your services?
Sure. My phone number is 504-393-4570. And my email address is carlvan@insuranceinstitute.com.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to thank you so much for being part of today's program. And I certainly hope that all of you that have been listening today has been able to get some information that will be helpful to your claims department and to your team. Until the next online chats, we'll see you later. I'm Diane Cohen.